Welcome back to another episode of the Slice Tennis Podcast, hosted by Stephen Boughton and your boy JP Hovey. 2-week Masters 1000 tournament. The headlines are moving a little bit slower than usual, but there is plenty to talk about with Cincinnati coming up. A lot of things have been going down in Canada that we'll get into. Genie Bouchard, she's retiring. We're going to give a little Cincy preview, and we're going to give, I already said that, we're going to give our best bet of the day. But before we get into all of that, Steven, what's been going on with you this week?
My man, I was just thinking before this, because this is part of my week. I don't know if Sin bakes cookies. Does she bake cookies?
She likes to bake for sure.
So if she makes cookies and they're like normal size, like let's just call them like on the smaller size, like this big, how many are you going to eat when they're fresh out of the oven?
So the problem is I'm not a big cookie eater. I'm more of a comment section. YouTube viewers, take this how you want to take it, but I'm more of a fruity guy when it comes to my desserts.
Okay.
But for the sake of this conversation, let's say I'd probably eat like 3 of them.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
well,
I was just thinking, I literally ate like probably 5 or 6 right before coming down here, and I'm just like, am I an animal or am I normal? And I want the people of the internet to maybe like give their thoughts, because I'm not like a glutton, but they're also small, but they're amazing. So, I had a few.
I think you've been on the tennis court recently promoting a certain event going on in New York at the U.S. Open, which people do need to. If you're Canadian, if you're American, if you're from anywhere around the world, and you're in New York City on August 23rd, Canada House in New York City. Stephen, tell the people a little bit more about it and tell them why you've been gaining the weight.
True. Fair enough. So you heard the man. August 23rd, we're hosting Canada House. It's the official U.S. Open party of Canadian tennis. So you don't have to be a Canadian or a fan of Canadian tennis to come, but you have to at least respect Canadian tennis.
Right.
So the link is below for tickets. They will be selling fast. So register now to save your spot, and I'll be flying down to New York to party with the tennis people to kick off the U.S. Open. So that's what's happening. And I guess I need to gain weight for that and all the other excitement this holiday season by eating the cookies.
Right. It's the pregame for the U.S. Open for holiday season coming up. November comes a lot quicker than people realize. And so you got to prepare.
That's super true. It's August. It's the U.S. Open. U.S. Open goes into September. What's in a month after September? October.
Wow.
And then it's November, which is my birthday month, by the way.
We don't make the rules. Shout out to the birthday month. But what else? So, you had the cookies. What else we get into?
Not much. Just really, we had a long weekend up here, so I just chilled with the family, which is all I want to do these days, is just hang out.
What holiday was it?
I don't even know what holiday it was. It's just like they call it August long.
We need to adopt that.
In Canada, it's pretty much socialist country, so we have like a long weekend like every month. Essentially, it's just what are we doing?
I didn't want to bring it up because when you were telling me yesterday, like, oh, we're on holiday, in my head I'm thinking like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I feel like there's so many holidays up there.
It's true, bro.
And I'm jealous.
I think Canada is becoming like France. Like we just don't work in August or July.
Yeah.
Like you trying to email people, it's like the out of office is just crazy.
I love that though. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah,
like I'm not hating on it at all. I would prefer it.
Well, you could be like, I wouldn't blame you if you're hating on it. Like somebody's got to make the money in the world, and you're out here traveling. You're in a hotel, so you're working. So how was your last week, JP?
This past week's been good. Yeah, I'm in New York right now, Rochester, New York. Honestly, pretty close to Canada, close to Toronto, close to Niagara Falls. Yesterday, I was in Philadelphia, or I guess today/yesterday, I was in Philadelphia and New England. So Foxborough, Massachusetts. And then tomorrow night, we'll be back in Nashville. So we've been jumping around doing a bunch of NFL stuff, which is always fun seeing those guys out there, just absolute transformers on the field when it comes to athletes. But yeah, bro, it's been good. It's been busy. Ton of work that's been getting done recently.
Yeah. You guys got to work down in the U.S. Keep that GDP growing. So we respect the hustle.
Yes, sir. Hey, somebody
On that
Oh
note,
yeah, true, hustling. Best bet of the day, which isn't even a hustle because we are prepared. We're coming down the pipe for the U.S. Open, but I feel like we got to give out a little futures pick for Cincinnati.
looking at the tournament that I think is, just gonna say right now, the more exciting tournament in Canada, in Montreal with the women. We've got futures picks on. So there's 4 players left, and the semifinals are awesome there. It's two major champions in Naomi Osaka and Elina Rybakina, and 2 young superstars in Victoria Mboko and Clara Tauson. Clara Tauson beat Iga Swiatek. Victoria Mboko beat Coco Gauff. Huge wins for the girls. And so they are both underdogs. Tauson is an underdog to Naomi Osaka. It's very close. Mboko's plus 175 only to Rybakina, which is like not that much plus money for an 18-year-old who's, started the year. We saw her in Miami. I believe she was in like 175 in the world at that point, and she's now in the top 50. But the futures for all of them to win, plus 550 for Mboko to win in Montreal. And she's kind of got that. She's too young almost to like feel the pressure. Like she's 18, and there's these players in tennis who just like kind of, they don't know what they're doing. They're just winning matches. You're playing Rybakina. Rybakina has more to lose in that match than Mboko does, 100%. And, Mboko just beat Buzaz Monero, who was hitting the ball a lot bigger than she was. But like I tweeted out, Mboko won easily because she doesn't, tennis isn't all about who can hit the ball harder. Right. It's about who can win more points. And she's just like, okay, I'll take your pace, redirect it, play smart. Mboko can hit big, but when you're at home and your nerves are going, hitting big can be risky. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was really cool to see her win a different way. And yeah, plus 550 to win her next 2 matches. I think that would be kind of crazy, but Rybakina is the most likely to win the tournament, plus 150, then Osaka plus 220, then Tauson 300, then Mboko at 550. So interesting odds there, I would say, in Montreal. And just to give a best bet of the day, I would say I kind of feel like another upset is happening. Right. Mboko versus Rybakina. Mboko's at plus 175. I don't know. She's truly a Canadian superstar right now, and she's got Montreal going crazy. So I would look at that.
Yeah, and was it Rybakina or Osaka? One of them literally said almost exactly what you just said, but Mboko has nothing to lose at all, and that's always a dangerous person to play. The one that has nothing to lose, which
totally.
By the way, that is the best bet of the day. Great bet. I'm riding as well. On that note, I saw some tweet that went viral, of course, and it was Coco Gauff. I hate to break it to you guys. I don't know how this went viral. I hate to break it to you guys, but Coco Gauff is just a great athlete. She's not a great tennis player. Dude, it was like it was which was crazy. It was like a Casper Ruud fan account.
Yeah,
and it's getting like in the millions in the impressions, and people were coming to the defense of Coco in it. But I'm just like, how could you say this about somebody that's won multiple Grand Slams? Like, that's one heck of an athlete.
It must be the best athlete ever to be not good at tennis, but be so dominant physically that you can win majors. That's why people go to X to like air out their most heinous takes. Yeah. And that's got to be one of the craziest ones. Cause I was talking about how in our last video, breaking down Mboko beating Gauff, how Coco Gauff is such a good athlete that when her serve or forehand have broken down throughout her career, she can still be one of the best players in the world because she can. Right. She makes up for it with her like elite athleticism, and she truly dominates other players on the WTA tour. But it is not anywhere near the category of she can't play tennis. She can just run down balls. Like, right. I'm sorry, you just can't.
You can't make it
not how you get out of the game.
Yeah. What do you think of? Obviously, we've been high on Vicky and Mboko for a while since Miami. Since you ran into Badosa in the elevator, what have you kind of made of her run?
Yeah, for those who didn't hear that story, in Miami, I ran into Paula Badosa in the elevator right after she'd played Victoria Mboko, and I asked her about her. I said, what do you think about Vicky? And she's like, oh, she's incredible. She's incredible. She's going to be at the top very soon. So she's a prophet, Badosa. She's now, Victoria Mboko's now in the top 50, beat Coco Gauff, made the run in the semis of a Masters 1000. So, the writing was on the wall, even only 4 or 5 months ago in March, but she had a wild card into that tournament. Isn't going to need wild cards anymore. And Victoria Mboko's big time. So, back to that level, I watched that match courtside. And I said it back then, like she was pushing around Badosa, who's a powerful player, and she beat Osorio. And her game kind of was clearly at a top WTA level already. She's just kind of walked into her destiny, and it's pretty cool to see. Like, she's got a very likable personality as well, and kind of just cool demeanor about her. And she feels like she's enjoying the moment in Montreal. Like, she's kind of just keeps going, like, what am I doing? This is crazy.
I know. I love her celebration.
On the sport.
Celebration, just hand on the head. Like, this is nuts. But it's definitely a this is nuts look, but it's also, I don't think she's shocked. Like, she has that little bit of inner confidence where it's like, oh no, I know that I do. Like, I'm a great player. I've put in the work. I have the weapons, and I will be better than a lot of these people if I'm playing my game. And so it's cool to see the mix of it.
Yeah, definitely. She's when I watch her, she does get frustrated, and she can get like some pretty, like, she could show some attitude on court, which I do love.
Yeah.
Because she knows. I think, and most players know, how. I don't think you can really win matches on there if you don't believe you can.
Right.
So, she's got that. I think she's got the superstar full on package, and very cool to watch. And so tomorrow night she plays, or tonight when this podcast comes out, she plays Rybakina. So she'll go out there, puncher's chance, and Rybakina can, she can hit bigger than Mboko, but she can also miss. And classically, like, another reason why Mboko has a chance here is because it's Darren Cahill, Sinner's coach, told me this last year in Montreal, that all players find it hard to feel the ball in Montreal and Toronto. Like, the ball it's that Wilson ball, which flies a bit more. And then they're also, both of those courts are open, quite swirly with the wind, and just kind of fast conditions. So the big hitting players can either like blitz you, or like they can miss a ton and kind of beat themselves. So Rybakina could be in that camp if she can't control it, and if Mboko can just be solid and use her legs. Like, she's a great athlete in that way. She can definitely win.
A couple of big hitters that had an epic match, and I do think this could be one of the more fun rivalries between two young players that could last for a while. Shelton and Cobolli, man. The match was great in itself. They both have the big forehands, big weapons all around. They play a fun style. And then at the end, I was kind of confused because I was catching a lot of this on Twitter. What initially started what was the problem?
I don't even really know, because I don't think the cameras ever picked up exactly what Cobolli did, and I didn't see a real replay of it. I think Shelton essentially hit a line. Well, what happened is Cobolli was serving for the match, and then he got broken, and then it went to a tiebreaker. And in that tiebreaker, Shelton hit a big forehand and that clipped the line. And in tennis, you're kind of like, when your opponent hits the line multiple times, like, no one's on purpose trying to hit a line.
Right.
That's kind of the sentiment. So if you hit 3 lines in a row, in your head, like, the other person's kind of getting lucky, or they're Roger Federer. But you were like, that's kind of so I think Cobolli made some motion of course he hit another line, and then Shelton took offense to that in the middle of the tiebreaker, which I didn't see the symbol or the motion that he made. But my question to you is, what do you think about just the confrontation at the net afterwards? I just thought it was a bit weird.
Dude, it was so weird, especially the second time after they initially shake hands and then Shelton's got his shirt off and they're talking, and I'm just like, what? It made no sense, because they dapped up 4 times, but they were pissed all 4 times. I'm like, do y'all understand how beef works? Because we either got to be mad at each other or we need to be making amends. We can't just keep going back and forth within 90 seconds of each other. But
yeah,
it was weird.
Yeah, and it was weird. And I didn't really like it from Ben, to be honest, because it's kind of to me, it's being a bit of a sore winner. You just won a match that arguably you shouldn't have because the other guy was serving for it. And if you guys are friends, like you're saying, you would give that guy some leeway of him getting mad on court and acting out. And then it's almost like you're intimidating him at the net with your shirt off, like you're going to beat him up if he doesn't say the right thing. And while like Cobolli almost sounded like he was on the verge of tears, like he's like, yeah, bro, I just lost a match that I was serving for and I was emotional. So yeah, I said, oh, of course he hit another line. Like, and as a friend, you should kind of give space for that and be like, yeah, he's acting out because he just blew serving for the match and now I'm going to win.
Right.
And I get that. So I'm not going to like rub it in his face and get offended that he made a motion, especially coming from the guy especially coming from Mr. Hang Up the Phone, like all about the emotions to other people. It was just a little bit weird to me. It's like, bring it up, talk about it later. That's like another friend thing I would say. It's just like talk about it in private.
Yeah, but dude, also how classic, like two young guys that are both like 21, 22, and that's pretty on par. It definitely I think it's a problem if that happens again like 5 years from now. Now it's just like two young dudes. Like hopefully they look back at it. They're like, all right, maybe we should have handled this a little differently. But overall, it's great because I think they could provide some super fun matches going forward. And when everybody's so far from Alcaraz and Sinner, it's like it's not a bad thing to have these other rivalries of talented players that are fun to watch.
Definitely. And I think they're both great for the sport and great players. Like I love the way that they both play. So that was a super fun match. And like you say, like great rivalry. And so that was good. I also wanted your take. This is another hot one from Toronto. Alejandro Davidovich Fokina takes to Instagram to torch the ATP Tour about scheduling his match at, I believe, 11 a.m. and saying, yada, yada. We're staying an hour from the tournament. I asked the ATP to schedule it later, like some of the other matches were, but they said no. The tickets had already been sold. The TV rights had already been sold. Great points, by the way. And, they're not going to make it later. So he's complaining about having to get up early. And then Dan Evans, just always the most realist guy, was like, get up and play. The whole world wakes up early to go to work. Dude, you can do it.
I mean, I love like Dan Evans. He's always comes correct with I'm sure all of the PTA people probably hate it because one of the big things it seems they're fighting is the scheduling. But I mean, it's like you obviously see where he's coming from. But when Dan Evans lays it out, and if I'm looking at my week right now, I'm like, yeah, I mean, bro, get up and go play. And you're staying far away from where you're playing. I don't think that's anybody else's fault but yours. You look around, point the finger all you want. You don't have to stay an hour away from the courts.
For real. And it's just I don't blame players. Like, I get it. We all feel frustration, maybe tweet something out in the moment, but like he's made $1.8 million this year. Like playing tennis, like not winning titles. No offense,
dude,
like,
but
coming close.
That's probably why he's also lashing out. Is just like it's probably building up, and he's just like looking for any reason to get mad. He's just like, I just can't win this tournament, and I'm sick of it being my fault.
For sure. And he, and Dan Evans is a classic British guy who will like bust your balls. Like if that was one of his mates, he'd be like, bro, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like you're going crazy. You're complaining about getting to work at 11.
Yeah.
We're playing, they're not, to be fair, they don't have to get to work at 11, but you could get to the court it's really not a non-issue. You could get there easily at 9, 2 hours to warm up, wake up at 7, leave the court thing at 8. Like it's just a non-issue, but, I don't know. It's kind of refreshing sometimes to just have, the rest of the world be like, yeah, that's not normal.
Right.
Like,
yeah, you need Dan Evans out there.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I kind of was thinking about it, like 11 a.m. match sounds awesome. Man. You win, you're finished, you're back at the hotel at 2 or 3, your day's done. Would you rather be finishing your match at 1 a.m.?
Right. Dude.
Like, I don't know. I get the PTPA and like all the scheduling. I see tons of credibility with like the late starts, which
exactly
we get that.
Yeah, the late starts all on board for shortening it up, but like 11 a.m. start time, like it's kind of gravy. But
maybe the Spanish like they like to stay up late, wake up late. They got like their siestas, so maybe it is a bit of a cultural thing. Like maybe 11 is actually early.
That's fair. What who do you think? While we're on it, we can move on to the next one after this, but who do we think is going to win the men's side?
Yeah, it's I mean, if we're looking at the who's left, Fritz. So on the top, it's Zverev versus Khachanov. Bottom, all-American matchup, Shelton versus Fritz. So that's a great matchup.
Great
Faster,
forward,
yeah, for real. Like, great. I think whoever wins the bottom match is going to win, is my pick.
The
So
Americans,
Shelton versus Fritz. Yeah, whoever wins that is going to win. Super fast conditions. Both Fritz and, I mean, all four of those guys got huge serves, to be fair. But, Fritz is looking pretty hard to stop. And I think we said that at the beginning. Like, he played a great Wimbledon. And yeah, so he's looking good. It'll be interesting to see, like, Shelton, Fritz. If Shelton beats Fritz in Toronto, that's a big, I would say, statement going into the Cincinnati and mainly the U.S. Open, like, because a lot of the Americans, I know you guys are all like, who's our number one shot at getting a major?
Right.
I think it's Fritz in general right now, but Shelton's biting at the chomp to, like, be that guy.
Yeah, it's going to be an epic one. That one will for sure be the ones to tune into. I do love that Khachanov is kind of back. And
yeah,
because, dude, I've always liked watching him play, and feel like he's had to deal with so many injuries and just climbing his way back in. And so to see him just in the semis of a big tournament is good. And he's always a dangerous player, man, especially when you go into Cincy in the U.S. Open. If he's starting to feel himself, like, it's not somebody you want to see in the draw at where he's ranked.
For real. He's like a consummate pro. You know that term?
Yes.
Like, he's a guy that he's a Masters 1000 champion. Remember that? I believe 2018 Paris-Bercy beat Djokovic in the final of the Masters 1000. Pretty crazy. You know how much money he's made in his career on court?
Let me guess. How old is he? 28, 29?
He's fairly old. He's 29.
I'm going to go with 22 million.
Good guess. 20 million. Yeah, he's made 20 million, which it's a lot of money for a guy that, like, most people would be like, he never came close to winning a major or anything like that, but he's done well. He's won tournaments. He's won a Masters 1000, like I said. And yeah, he's actually won 7 titles in his career. So ultimate consummate pro. He could, on any day, he could beat any 3 of these guys left in the tournament. Let's just be honest.
100%.
But yeah, Fritz or Shelton I like. And Shelton's been hitting some crazy serves because the ball bounces also in Toronto and it's fast. So, like, he's hitting second serves, like tonight against De Minaur. He had a second serve kick that De Minaur literally couldn't touch. Like, it literally bounced over his head. He's a fast king, but he might be a little bit of a short king too. No, not really.
I love it. It'll be in Zverev. He's kind of had some swagger to him this tournament too. So, dude, I mean, I would not shock me with whoever wins. It won't shock me.
For real, yeah. No, he's and it's better when Zverev doesn't really talk going into tournaments, like, because then he can stay under the radar a bit. Like, when he's like, I'll put myself in contention as the winner. He's like, first round exit.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. And then what do we? I know we got Bouchard retiring on here. We could touch on it. Do you think she should retire?
Well, it looks like she will. Like, I thought, and I would love to get your thoughts on a tweet I posted. But she won her first match back, which is actually crazy. I did not think she would win a match. So right then she was like, if I win the tournament, I'm not retiring. And in my head, I was like, maybe you should just not retire right now. You just won. Like, if you looked at her activity, she hasn't won a lot of matches in the last couple of years. She has barely been playing, but she has tried to come back and play at different times and just lost to everyone, essentially. Mm-hmm. So you win a match. I mean, you got to get your ranking back, which is the hard part. Right. Because even winning one match here doesn't really help if you're like 1,000 in the world like she is. But yeah, no, I think she should retire probably, but not should, but she is going to. But my bigger question was, I tweeted out that Genie Bouchard is, an iconic tennis player.
That's
and, I said that and people were kind of like, iconic, like, this is crazy. And it's like posting her like bikini photos, which, and I also posted one, which is, she is iconic, not for her play. Like, she's like, Sharapova is iconic because of her play, but also because she's, off the court.
Right.
There's certain players who are like, almost like sex symbols off the court, and tennis players. Like, Genie Bouchard's kind of one of them.
For sure.
But there's, like, I think I talked about before, like, there's 2 lenses that I see. There's like Canadian tennis, and then there's like tennis in general.
Right.
She's an iconic Canadian tennis player because she did She was the first singles player to ever reach a singles major final in Canadian
and you
history.
can stop right there. Like that's already like there's your resume. You don't have to.
For Canadian. Yeah. So on the global scale, on the global sphere, like no one cares if you just made one. If Nick Kyrgios didn't have a personality and made one Wimbledon final, it doesn't make you iconic. But
right.
Nick Kyrgios is iconic because of his personality, and I would almost say Genie Bouchard's kind of in that camp. Like I think she was one of the most iconic tennis players with as far as like her look goes and like her kind of star power in that way. And the fact that almost like some players become infamous because they don't succeed how they should have, probably like her, she had a crazy, it wasn't even just Wimbledon. She made the Wimbledon final. She also made in that same year, I believe the quarterfinals at the Australian and the French. And it was either that year or the next year that she slipped and fell at the US Open.
Yeah.
Sued them and was never the same.
So it was sued.
Probably. But there was other issues with her like in Tennis Canada and stuff in before that. Like, she's I don't have she hasn't really done much for like as far as what I've seen. Like she's just kind of a player. I don't want to dog on her too much, but I know that they've been hard to work with in some ways. Or I just was reading the ex-president of Tennis Canada saying that about her parents at the beginning, that they were very hard to work with, and then it became a better relationship. So I think, water on the bridge for a lot of these players. Like tennis is a weird sport in that way, but I did say she was one of the iconic players because I think she kind of is in that way. And that was, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I'll 100% agree. Like, I mean, we don't even have to say too much more on it. Just first Canadian singles player to make a final that's the resume. That's all that needs to be said. And even on the global scale, like she was talked about. People that didn't follow tennis, if you showed them a photo of her, they would recognize her over like
Iga Swiatek.
Yeah, Swiatek. Like literally pick a name. Like they're gonna at least say, "Oh yeah, I've seen this girl before."
Yeah.
With Swiatek, they'd be like, "This is the casual sports fan." They'd be like, "I have no idea who this is."
Yeah, and like tennis is show business at the end of the day, and like she was like a show business.
Yeah,
star.
She's a great promoter. Self promoter. Some other two guys that water under the bridge. They saw each other. They're back in Cincy. Let's go ahead and get into our little Cincy draw preview because that was released. Unfortunately, I did see Dennis is in Alcaraz's quarter.
Okay, yes, I saw that as well. So
we get into all that, but Sinner and Alcaraz saw each other for the first time since the Wimbledon final, where Sinner got the best of Alcaraz. It was all smiles, of course, as it usually is between those two. And they were catching up because neither of them played in Canada. And they had the big injuries that they had to recover from. And, Carlos checks in on Sinner. I'll let you tell it from here. We were talking about it before on the podcast, but how'd you see the interaction go?
Well, I just thought it was funny. Like you say, Alcaraz checks in on Sinner. Hey, how was your time off? What'd you get up to? And then Sinner goes, nothing crazy. And then gives the question back to Alcaraz. What'd you do? And Alcaraz goes, nothing crazy. But
the smile,
that nothing crazy from Alcaraz, had a bit of a different attitude to it because we all know Alcaraz did go crazy in the south of Spain,
right?
And that's what he likes to do. I just thought it was very funny. Yeah, these guys go from playing the craziest major finals, the most intense settings, and have to blow off steam. I think Sinner goes and rides his bike or cleans his Ferrari in the hills of the Italian Alps.
Dude, like the losses. I mean, obviously those losses hurt in a Grand Slam final, but I feel like when you're at that level, when they pretty much know they'll be back in more finals and they'll be playing each other more, it's like the fans hurt more from the losses than like Alcaraz fans hurt more than Alcaraz probably was after.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Like I haven't heard it said like that, but I think that's true with most of these guys like Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. When any of them have suffered brutal losses, I think their fans hurt more because it goes both ways. And I think like Federer, for example, the most recent memory I can have, 2019 Wimbledon, he loses with championship points. Like the fans are devastated. Like some of them are never, because they made it their life to argue with other fans. And I get this and I respect it, that he's the greatest tennis player of all time. And then that like that's getting pulled away from them, and that hurts. And like Federer's not in his head trying to argue with everyone that he's the greatest tennis player of all time.
Right.
He remembers winning 20 majors and being arguably the most dominant world number one in the world for the longest amount of time. And same with Djokovic, like any of these losses or, the fans, I think they feel it more than the players because I don't know, the players get more of the high, I guess, when they win, and they get more of the satisfaction, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it like you're saying, it's the same in almost every sport. Like I know,
Right.
like especially you even break it down to college football. It's like the fans hurt, and really this is just an 18-year-old kid, which a lot of these tennis players, like Alcaraz, is so young. It's like it's just a 22-year-old kid that is going to make mistakes and ultimately is going to get over it. Like you have such a short memory. But I was trying to look up Rogers' win-loss record overall. Let's see. So this is according to AI overview on Google. He won 1,000. So he was 1,251 and 275. So 82% win percentage.
Yeah.
He probably feels like 3 of those losses.
Yeah.
It's like he's one of the greatest players of all time. And I know that win rate is crazy, but he's lost 275 times.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of them are definitely going to hurt. And it's not like Wimbledon 2019 wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm sure it hurts the most.
But yeah, the players, like, it's like some of the fans are like, it's nothing else has mattered. And I just think he would be like,
there's a reason that video gets resurfaced like every other week on tennis Twitter.
Yes.
Either one fan base is celebrating it so much, or the other one is despising the person that won it so much.
Yeah, and then it's like it is funny how people are tortured by different things. Like Federer fans are tortured by that. Djokovic fans, I think, are probably tortured by his current state against like losing 2 finals to Alcaraz in at Wimbledon, whatever it is, or maybe they're just living in bliss. I don't know, because he has like all the records.
Right.
But it is, that's what we love. That's what the slice is about. It is about the tennis fans' heart and passions and all of our reasons why we're staying up late to watch these matches and going nuts. And none of our friends understand us or want to listen to us anymore. Anyways, that was a great point. So yeah, they are in Cincinnati, Alcaraz and Sinner, and let's just take a look at their draw. So at the top, Sinner's the number 1 player in the world, if you didn't know that. He's got Musetti, countryman, in his quarter as the 8th seed. He's also got Gabriel Diallo, our Canadian, number 30th seed. They could play in this. So Diallo and Sinner could play in their second match each. That would be crazy for us. Tommy Paul's in there. He's back from injury. Tsitsipas and Felix Auger-Aliassime are in that quarter as well, and Casper Ruud. Holy crap! So that's a crazy. Like if that was just a draw to a tournament, you would be like, "That's an incredible ATP 500 tournament."
Yeah,
Musetti 8th seed, all in the same quarter. Auger-Aliassime, he's got to get wins. We've had some tough times for Auger-Aliassime and Shapovalov in Toronto. Hated seeing them both lose first round or first match.
It's painful, man. Because they just. They want it so bad. I think when we were texting about that, those brutal questions that were getting asked after Dennis's match, reading the transcript back is probably 10 times worse than it was in person. And it was still bad in person.
Yeah. I would have loved to be there. I wasn't there for that. I would have loved to just watch that and see Dennis would have pop off.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, no, the boys love playing at home, and that's why they don't play their best.
Yeah.
Is for that reason. But we know what they got. So Felix and Gabe Diallo in that top quarter with Sinner and Musetti. And then the second quarter is Fritz's. He's the number 4 seed. He's got Holger Rune in there as the other top 7th seed, the 7th seed. He's got Cobolli, Davidovich Fekina, Tiafoe, Humbert, Mikkelsen all in that quarter. Pretty dense as well. Third quarter, which is the Zverev quarter, that is the 3rd seed. He has Ben Shelton.
It's the one you want to be in.
You think so? Okay. And yeah, Nori, Lehechka, Medvedev, Khachanov, Feast, Nakashima. I think this is, that's the court you do probably want to be in. A lot of and these expanded draw formats, there's so many qualifiers too in every part. Brooksby's got a wild card into that section of the draw as well, into that quarter. And then the bottom corner, the Alcaraz quarter, he's got Demon Hour, the 6th seed there. Darderi, Poprin, Rublev, Mensik, Shapovalov, Griekspoor. Honestly, the top half just in general seems crazier to me than the bottom half.
Sure. Dude, I'm wondering when I feel like Mensik at some point, Mensik is going to like take that step and he's going to be a freaking problem. He's already a problem, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like something big is coming for him at some time soon.
Well, yeah, I mean, he won Miami when we were there, and then he hasn't done much since. The consistency's not there, but it's hard to be consistent. But he's got definitely the game for it. So that's a great point. He should be like, in that section of the draw, you should be like, oh yeah, he's a lock to meet Alcaraz in the 4th round, but he'll have to beat Shapovalov, which. That's not easy, of course, because, I mean, Shapovalov should also not be the 24th seed. Let's just be honest. Right. So everyone's looking for consistency. It's hard to be consistent. Like some of these players have made consistency seem like the norm, like the big three we've watched the last 20 years. Not the norm. Even Alcaraz Sinner, not the norm. But yeah, Mensik is a problem. So great draw there in Cincinnati on the men's. As always, we got the top 2 seeds back, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, I saw Djokovic. He pulled out.
Yep, Djokovic not there. That's a good point. He's just trying to win another major. Let's just be honest.
I'll be doing the same thing, and love the all black fit that's going to be coming for the U.S. Open.
Is that what's coming for him?
Yeah, they leaked it out there, so that'll be cool because they compared all because I guess Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and one. I forget who else was in there, but I had like some fresh all black fits, and it was a classic. Like Ray, whose is the best? It's like low key, they all look the exact same except for the logo.
They're like, rate all these all black outfits. It's like rate these Wimbledon outfits to see which one's best. You're just saying who's the best looking guy. That's all you're saying.
Right. Hey, that's what happens when in these 2-week 1,000 tournaments. That's the headlines that start taking place.
That's how much time we have here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Speaking of time, I think we just have time to read the comments from the last YouTube, which this is interesting, actually. The video got like restricted because of content that was like not appropriate or something. So I think a lot of people missed the last video. It only had 176 views.
What did we say?
It was about the betting partners. They're like, it's an age restricted video because of a non-approved betting partner, but like definitely Betway's a legitimate website that you can use. So
what? Oh yeah, I see that right here.
So anyways, that's we got a little limited there, but we did get 4 comments.
Let's go
from our real ones who wandered through and found us. So yeah, I'll start with Brenda Johnson first. She goes, JP, thank you, heart. I got 10 toes in for Carlitos. Vamos.
She's standing on business, man. Because last week somebody was coming at her crazy. Or 2 weeks ago they were coming at her crazy. Last week we stood up to the bully. We were like, hey, you got a problem with Brenda, you got a problem with me. So and Brenda, obviously we're rocking with Brenda. And 10 toes. Come on.
Is that what that means? I wasn't familiar with the 10 toes.
Oh, yeah. She's standing 10 toes. Like, she's standing on business. She's firmly planted. Like, I'm going to defend Carlos.
Okay. I love it. Maybe that's an American saying. I've literally never heard that in Canada. So,
yeah. What about standing on business?
I've heard that from Justin Bieber, Canadian.
It's not clocking to you.
He's like, you're not clocking. I'm standing on business.
Come on. Man.
That's what Brenna's saying.
Exactly. It wasn't clocking to the other commenters.
It ain't clocking, which we love that, Brenda. You're a real one. Thank you for your support.
Yes. Next one here. Yep. Yeah. Daniel Lid Ford 6142. Sorry to have missed you in Toronto this past weekend. Family Day weekend at the National Bank Open had so many people that it was hard to get around at times. Some great matches so far this week. Looking forward to more.
Yes, Danielle. Sorry we missed you as well. It would have been great to see you in person. Did see JP. We said hi to a few of the people that stopped and said hi. Always awesome to see the people in person. When me and you were in Miami, did we have anyone say hi to us or come up to us together?
In the elevator, the guy, they don't recognize me, but they recognize you. It was kids working for the tournament. They were like, you're Steven with the slice.
Right. That's great. I feel like if we go, like maybe when we go to Dallas next year, like I feel like that's a bit closer to that's football country. Maybe like you got in general a much bigger personality than I do. I think so. That would be.
We'll see.
That'll be funny.
Dallas will be fun.
I'd love to just figure out how to do like a real fan. Like I mean, we do these fan interviews. We did them in Toronto, but like a real fan interaction type of activation in the future would be awesome.
Right. Agreed. Let's see. This is shout out Marie Suzuki 8330. Did you guys know this one has a warning? This may not be appropriate for some. FYI. Shout out to Marie for trying to look out for the boys. Calling out YouTube. This is a YouTube mistake, guys. The last episode is perfectly okay to view. There's no cussing, nothing bad. It's all tennis and all vibes. And then the last one, one of our favorites, Geo Air Travel. I care, wink emoji, and I love Carlitos. If that bothers anyone, sorry, but not sorry. Emoji, keep up, guys. Thank you, Geo Air Travel. Steven, I can't lie to you.
I love it.
I have to use the bathroom so bad right now. Number 2. So we might got to wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up. That's number 1 and number 2 in the bag for this week's episode of the Slice Tennis Podcast. JP, thank you for joining us from the road. Thank you guys for commenting. Leave your comments here for the next week, and we will let JP get to the bathroom.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe.